I have contractors calling my assistants, calling and asking, hey, do y'all have work? Do y'all have work? I'm like, why do you not have work? You know what I mean? Because you're not doing anything. You're just waiting to get fed. You know what I mean? Like you do. Like you push it. Like, you're out there. You're knocking on doors. You're talking to people. You're, making things happen. Roughneck Army. Here we go.
What's up?
What's up, man?
Gabe.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself. Look at the camera.
My name's Gabe Morales. Owner of Abdo Construction in San Antonio, Texas, and I'm here visiting with Corey and Braxton.
How's our remodel in Jordanton going?
Dude, we started it Friday. We should be finished by Friday afternoon. Done.
Hell yeah. You happy about that, Brack?
I am.
It's gonna look nice. It's a beautiful little house, with some acreage. What is it like? I think it's like half an acre, 3/4 acre.
Yeah, it's gonna
corner lot.
We tried to rent it with the cat shit in there apparently for way too long.
Yeah. I don't think it was cat shit. I think it was like raccoon. But,
whoa.
Yeah, but no, we got that cleaned up and it's gonna look nice.
Did y'all get rid of the Mexican gym in the back?
We took the tire out. Yeah, it's like a Mexican gym. It's just one big tractor tire.
You the one that said it was a gym.
Well, man, people steal tractor tires and flip them and stuff,
Were you out there flipping it first?
No, man, I didn't touch that thing. Dude, that thing was huge, man. But no, picked up that, but it's coming along really fast. Just gotta get it done.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you're working on Hondo. Permitting.
Yes.
So the city doesn't like your plans or wants them more meticulous?
Yeah, they're really meticulous, and I think it's because there's like a $400,000 house next door to the meth house that you bought.
Whoa. Come on now. We saw that lady. She had way too much skin on her bones to be on meth. Now her boyfriend, this is her fellas.
Dude, that room was set up like this room. Like it was set up like a video. A video.
So
somebody
right,
was
they had the ring light. They had the robe. They had all that stuff.
It was bad.
Anthony was there too.
Yeah, Anthony was there.
Yeah, we were all there.
And
yeah. And then she's like, I'm going to take my ceiling fans, remember?
Oh, yeah.
I'm take my... Okay. It took all the ceiling fans and everything. It was bad,
Those are like $40, man. Used.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, crackhead selling everything, Like, dude, we found... I don't know what else. We found paraphernalia. We found... What else? We found a bunch of stuff in their room. A lot of Bibles. I don't know what that was about, dude.
They're very religious.
I think whenever you're stealing stuff from people's houses, there's just Bibles in the mix. They just get brought into the mix. It's like, we got some good drills. Oh, look, a Bible. Yeah, we'll grab that too. It's Grandma's Bible.
Dude, that room, when we first went into that bedroom, it was like, man, there's some kinky stuff going on in here.
She had black lights along the ceiling. Mounted up.
Maybe it was like the red light district in Hondo or something at that time. Or something, like
that one room.
Yeah, that one area. You know what I mean? I don't know.
You just hang out by the window or something.
And then you know what? We went back and somebody had broke the windows. You know what I mean?
Who was that? I don't. The neighborhood kids.
So I get there the other day and Corey's like, yeah, somebody broke your windows, man. The kid, we saw him, and he's showing me the video, and he's the one breaking the windows. And I was just gonna put glass back on them. I wasn't even gonna repair the windows, but okay. Guess we're gonna be repairing some windows, changing them all out.
Yeah, we need energy efficient windows. We need them upgraded windows.
Vinyl and all. Yeah, low E vinyl windows. Yeah, that will do that.
Do a mini split in there.
Yeah, mini split in that room that's falling down. Yeah, we need that. The city doesn't want us to demo, and they want a plan of demo action.
So they won't let you tear down the little room that they added on the back.
Yeah, so we have to come up with they're asking for so much information, but I just think it's just because it's going to be a nice house, and it's going to be in a nice area, and everything around it's really nice.
Yeah. If we were on the crackhead side of town, they wouldn't bother us.
Yeah, I think literally, if it were on the other side of the tracks, it wouldn't matter.
Damn. So we did good buying it.
No, it's a good buy. just
Yeah.
needs love.
The constable said he would buy it for the price we paid for it, but he wouldn't. He wouldn't submit a contract. So I was like, damn.
The constable had some kind of like was he a constable or what? He had
What?
some kind of truck, and the truck was all beat up
Yeah,
and
that's
everything.
right. It looked like it just got destroyed by some hail or something. Or
Like somebody like christened him the constable of the Barney Fife of that town or something.
We'll link that video above or below. It'll be floating in the.
He's like, y'all need to make sure that y'all respect people's property. You know,
it's
these
like we're
people-
helping them load their truck. I don't.
It was,
We brought like 5 guys.
and then I got Anthony, and we had the fellas. I just knew, like, I drove by it, I think the day before or something. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be a shit show. They're gonna be there. Normally on evictions, people aren't there, but I was like, they're gonna be there.
That's a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. A lot of tools and like, where do you get all this stuff?
From the neighborhood. That was not purchased. There was a bunch of, and then we kept getting fined or threatened to get fined by the city, so we had to go back and clean all the stuff out. So you brought those guys down. I brought the dump trailer.
Yeah, about the dump trailer.
And,
But those lotto tickets were fire. The lotto tickets on the, you know,
lotto tickets.
yeah, remember the guy had like a wall full of lotto tickets on the, right?
he did.
It's like, why did and they're losers. They're not like winners.
It'd be even funny if they were winners. It's like, this is my savings. I don't trust banks, so I just have some
Lotto
winner-
tickets on the
lottery
wall for
tickets on the
wallpaper.
wall.
Wallpaper's coming back though, man. Like, you know, figure that maybe it's lotto ticket wallpaper or something.
So what else do you do, Gabe?
What else do we do? So, like, I still buy houses and look for deals, and you know, whatever we don't like, we'll either wholesale or hotel. And so when we're not doing that, our crews are busy doing other projects. And,
Is the hotel model still working for you?
you know, the last one I did was in February,
Okay.
and I think, and it worked out great. You know, the comps were there, and you know, it's all about the price of what you buy. You know, and so you can put a little bit of money into it and flip it. And that one we didn't have to do a whole lot to it, and we got it sold pretty quickly.
Well, good. I mean, my experience in our area, the hotel model is kind of dead. I think you got to be kind of in a core area. It's not. Wholesaling is whenever you buy a property, don't fix it, clean it up, and sell it to another investor on MLS. And the investors, I mean, in my mind, the MLS investors are the largest group of investors. All the off-market stuff, all the off-market people that are out there that are like, off-market, no, you can't. I mean, a hedge fund doesn't know about off-market. You know what I mean? They don't even know that avenue exists. So they got agents combing MLS, and they kind of checked out of the marketplace right now. I don't know if it's interest rates. I assume they're using debt. I don't know, but there's something because they're not out there. You can actually, for the first time in a long time, you can buy deals off of Facebook Marketplace. You did Facebook Marketplace with us when we got started. Real estate was super hot whenever he came on, and it was a little bit more difficult. Big Mike slays on Facebook Marketplace now. Every contract he gets is from Facebook Marketplace. So then I told him, I was like, start checking Zillow for sale by owners. So Zillow for sale by owners historically have been beat up by agents, because agents, they'll search Zillow, they'll go to for sale by owners, they'll call them and try to talk them into listing. So you're not, I mean, by the time you call them, they're annoyed. They don't want to deal with you. They know what their property's worth. They're kind of a cheap human, right? They don't want to pay an agent. He went on Zillow the other day, offered half to a for sale by owner on Zillow, and they accepted it. So, I mean, the free marketing sources are there, and that tells me that there's not a lot of other people there, right? Because if they were getting beat up, I mean, the agents, it seems, are falling out because the volume of real estate's gone down. So what's the stat? How many agents are there in the U.S.? 1.5 million?
Something insane.
Something like that. And, you see the stats that X number of agents didn't renew their license. And so there's kind of a purge happening from the fly-by-night agent types that don't have good sales skills, aren't going to get on the phone. They're just listing their friends and family's properties, and nobody's listing right now because they've got a low interest rate, so they don't want to put it on the market. So the for sale by owners are back. I mean, you see a for sale by owner in a neighborhood, it's almost gold because you can actually get a good deal on it. We were in Waco looking at deals and we had that for sale by owner, but they had already had a contract on it, and we're like, they're probably not going to close. They're going to try to wholesale it, but I assume they did close because we had pretty good rapport with them. Called them back a couple of times. They said everything was still going good, and anyways, probably need to check on that one. Know what I'm talking about in Waco?
I think so.
That little one bed we went through. So, anyways.
That's good. I mean, for the realtors that are really pushing it, I think they're those are the ones that are gonna make it through, right? Like, but I think you're exactly right when it comes to, the guy that's just trying to register as a realtor and not really do the actual hard work, right?
Right.
And it's just like in investors as well. It's like the harder you work at it, the more you develop your skills, the better you become, right? It's just like anything else in life. But I think there's a lot of opportunity right now, and somebody was telling me the other day, it's like, it's not a good market. It's like, I think there's, like you just explained, there's always opportunity. You just have to figure out where it's at.
It's a great market.
Yeah.
It's like if you're a retail buyer, for the first time in a long time, you have negotiating power. Exactly. You can actually get repairs. You can get things done that you couldn't get done in a hot market because there's 5 other offers.
Exactly.
Why would I go remodel this house for you or fix this thing that you want fixed or customize this for you when I have another buyer? It's like, we recently had a contract and we were selling this thing basically just to get away from it. And I think we have it listed for like 160. And our offer was 130 something. Anyways, they come back with a repair list. They send us this crazy repair list. And at that moment, we had 2 other backup offers, right? And they were much higher. Like one of them's 160, like what we have it listed for. And I knew we were going to have to do the repairs regardless. But why would you sell it for 130 and do the repairs when you can sell it for 160 and do the repairs?
Yeah.
So we had options, but if we didn't have those options, we'd have just done the repairs. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And sold that house. So, I mean, people are mistaken because if you believe interest rates are never going down, or you believe interest rates are going down, it's still the best time to buy right now because
Absolutely.
Eventually, if interest rates don't go down, buyers are still going to come into the marketplace. They're still going to try to buy. And there's going to be more competition for you. So you're not going to be able to get those repair requests. You're not going to be able to get that discount. You're not going to be able to do those things if there's more buyers in the marketplace. If interest rates do go down and a ton of buyers flood into the marketplace, now you're really screwed. You missed your buying opportunity because you were upset about interest rates that, I mean, they are what they are. You know what I mean? It's still better to own a house with equity, than it is to own a house with no equity. That's my opinion. What do you think?
I agree, especially right now. Because it's just like at the end of the day, there's always going to be new job, new this, got to move back to be with your parents, be with whoever. So you are still going to have that traffic. And I think as time goes on, like what you said, if this is just the new norm, people will adapt. And there's always going to be that demand.
Right. Because how many illegals come over every week, every month, whatever? How many houses are getting built? That's the other thing nobody's talking about. Right now, you're going through the permitting process for one house. How long is it taking?
It's already a couple of weeks now.
And we got Anthony that does land. It takes a long time and a lot of planning to get a new subdivision up and going, and hundreds of thousands of dollars of sunk cost.
Sure.
Of just engineering and all of that.
Long before anyone can move into anything.
Right. Nobody's doing that right now. Nobody's out getting that done because they don't want to sink the money in and have to go pay the carrying costs on all this building, because they're paying interest every month to build this neighborhood. It's eating them up. So they're not doing it. While they're not doing it, if interest rates go down and they start doing it again, there's still this large gap of 2 years where none of that work got done. You're years behind on getting it, shovel ready for somebody to go out there and actually build. And so it isn't like you can just flip a switch and boom, houses are being built again. So all this lag time in the lull that we're in right now, this stagflation or whatever it is going to lead to less houses being built over the long term. There's still more people coming in. About the only thing that can save the marketplace, I guess, from needing more houses is a large boomer die-off, right? All the boomers, they start passing away, but, people are living a lot longer, so it ain't like they're just going to all die one day, I think COVID tried, but, well, we might edit that out. I don't know. But anyways, I think COVID was an event that could have wiped out some people that are in some homes that could be sold to a younger family. But right now, there's going to be a large lull. And that's why the mobile home space, it's so quick. You got a neighborhood that they platted in the 60s that never really developed, that if you can get a mobile home in there, and you can pretty quick, you can provide housing quickly. Within a month we can have a house sitting there ready for somebody to move in and occupy. And that's what we're seeing, and that's what we're doing. So, it's kind of a weird spot we're in, but I think overall you either need to make the decision to buy a house or, realize that you're going to be a tenant for a lot longer if you don't take this opportunity to buy. So,
No, you're right. You see it all the time. People are just like kind of hesitating based on interest rates, and like it's like, nah, just get in, just get in and take it. And like back in the 70s, the interest rates were in the 12s, 13s, right? And then it changed, right? Even in the 90s, like early 2000s, you were like at like 7 or 8 as well, And so, but it changed, right? And so when you depending on when you bought the house and when as the value rose, you always have the opportunity to refinance if you need to.
Well, that's the people kind of, and if you were anywhere whenever 2015, 2016, 2017, my early days in real estate, everybody kept predicting this bubble. And I'm not saying there can't be a bubble, but to be a bubble, there has to be more inventory than there is people, right? And so, yes, that there can be a bubble, and that's what happened in 2008. The builders, everybody had 2 houses, so the builders were building more houses than people could consume, created a big bubble. What we're going through right now, I don't think it's a bubble. I think it's just inflation. People, like I was saying earlier, in my early days, I would talk about appreciation is a bet that you can't depend on, right? So it's like if you're buying something at 130 and you're expecting to sell it at 200 into the future, you can't depend on that. Well, that was me being naive, because the one thing that's going to happen is inflation, and a hard asset in an inflationary period is going to go up with inflation, and that's why home values have gone up so much, because of inflation. Cost of labor's up, cost of materials up, therefore your replacement cost is up. So that means the 1940s house that was only worth $40,000 6 years ago, that's now selling for $150,000. That's just inflation doing its thing. You know what I mean? That doesn't have anything to do with the quality of the house or the neighborhood appreciated or more people wanted to live there or any of that. It's just inflation. Inflation did it to Groesbeck. It did it to Mart. It did it to every small town. Inflation brought the value of all that real estate up because it's a hard asset. So knowing that now, understanding replacement cost, and kind of knowing what the trend is. If you see all of a sudden they're building 8 million homes a year, which right now they were building 2 million homes a year. I bet you that number's down. But if all of a sudden they're building 8 million homes a year, it's like, are we in a bubble now? We could be. You know what I mean? If we're building more houses than the population is growing, then yeah, it's going to be a problem. I think if there's a bubble in anything, it's going to be apartments. I think, you look around, you look in Waco, I have no idea how they're building as many apartments as they're building, because they had those plans on the books. They have to finish those projects. They have to get them built. We've watched them try to build hotels for years now.
Mm-hmm.
Your apartment that you live in,
Still not done.
still not done. We've watched them build that, and that's, you know, the draw process on the loan getting stretched out. You know, I mean, it's just I'm not going to give you your next draw, so they got to go find cash someplace else to continue working on that project. But they have to get that next draw from the bank so they can pay off that other guy that they borrowed the money from. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of in a catch-22 where they have to finish those projects, or hand them over, sell them to somebody that can finish the project. But they're still building them, and I'm like, how are you building thousands of units in Waco, and who's going to live there? You know what I mean? Like, who's moving here? Where are the jobs? But then, you know, I guess it's kind of a flip, you know, two-sided coin, because there's a lot of other stuff happening too. I mean, the commercial real estate in downtown has gone insane. So, I mean, I don't understand that, but I do understand single-family housing. People want a single-family house. They'll live in an apartment, but if the rent's the same on an apartment and a single-family home, they're going to pick the single-family home, even though it's more expensive for them to live there. Their kids got a yard. They got privacy. People just want that. You know, no matter how much Grant Cardone, you know, tries to convince young people and old people alike that we want to swim in a pool that's maintained by the apartment complex, you would still rather have your own pool if you can afford it. You know what I mean? So that's the way I look at it.
No, I agree. I mean, it's just, even, you know, you talk about replacement costs and that aspect of things. I mean, being in the construction side, we've seen that over the past 3 years, where your replacement cost has changed, right? I mean, the same quote I would have gave. I just got even from February. Somebody's like, okay, we're ready to do work, and I'm like, nah, the price has changed because the cost of labor, my labor cost has changed, my material cost has changed, and so to recoup that is, you know, it's a different price now, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, people still want to stay in their houses, like you said. Like, this is a single family house, and they're like, we're just gonna repair it right now, you know, and that's cool. We can do that.
It is. So, what else do you see, Gabe? You out there on them streets? What is inflation killing people?
You know, I think it is. I mean, we talk about a 4x8 sheet of plywood. You know, for me, you know what I mean. That's it used to be like $32. Now it can be like 45. You know what I mean? That's pretty significant. You buy 20 sheets to do a project. It's gonna hurt. You know, it's gonna be different. You know.
Yeah.
Same thing with tools, right? Tool replacement. Even labor. You have labor coming in. There's like all these people coming in, right? And it's like, even they want to get paid like
20,
$25 an hour.
Yep.
It's like, man. And back then it used to be, well, $25 an hour. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good chunk of change to get paid by the hour.
That's the top hand.
Yeah.
That's somebody
exactly.
with a skill set, some tools. You know, that's top hand. You know, your beginner guys were 10, 12, $15 an hour.
That's right.
And I've seen it go up. I've watched our other contractors have to deal with the same thing. You know, nobody wants to go outside and work for $15 an hour anymore.
No.
I mean, even the high school kids we hire, it's like, you can't get them off the couch unless you're going to pay them $15 an hour. It's like, I was making $15 an hour. First time I made $15 an hour, I was working derricks in 2002. You know what I mean? Or no, 2003, because my first derrick's job was like $13 an hour, and I was rich. I mean, could not spend my check. And then I got a raise to $15.25. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was like, next week we're making $15.25. Holy fuck, I'm going to be so rich, you know. And drillers were making $18 an hour at that time. I don't know what. Let us know in the comments what Roughnecks are making now. I bet you hire out right now, green hand, you're making $30 an hour. I'll bet it. Let me know if I'm right about that. But I mean, brand new guy, orange hard hat, doesn't know his ass from a fucking hole in the ground, $30 an hour to show up on a drilling rig. And that's crazy to me, because, you know, I mean, it took a long time for drillers to get $30 an hour whenever I was in the oil field. And I think that's about what they were making whenever I got laid off. So in the last 10 years, Drillers are probably making closer to $40 or $45 an hour, and that was welder wages. Now welders are making $100 an hour. You know what I mean? It's like,
Exactly.
it's just crazy. It's crazy how the cost of labor's gone up, but the cost of everything else has gone up. So you really,
Exactly.
even though you're making $100 an hour, you still got $45 an hour worth of buying power. So does it really matter? At the end, no, but still makes people feel good. And that's why real estate's valuable. Braxton, what do you think your little house over in Nolanville is worth now?
Think somewhere around 230,
What'd you pay for it?
125.
The rent, we haven't bumped the rent on it. That tenant that's been there a while, we haven't bumped rent on them.
It's been like 2.5 years now.
Yeah,
He's been there the whole time, so it's like no need.
no need. But if he moved out, what do you think you could rent it for?
Probably $2,000.
Yeah, and that's just inflation.
Just to keep up, just to get the same.
Yeah, the exact same house. And when we underwrote that deal, I think it was probably around a 180 house. At the time, but inflation's just doing its thing, and it's raising the value of everything. That's why if you got cash in the bank, you got to put it into hard assets. You got to put it into real estate. You have to put it into something that'll drip a little bit of money in your bank account, maybe even lose money over the course of a year. Maybe it cost you $2,000 to own that home. You would still rather own that home and lose the $2,000 to get the tax
2%,
benefits.
Loss versus your allegedly 8% or whatever
Right.
inflation.
Yep.
If that cash is sitting in the bank, it's not going to do anything for you. So, anyways, what else, Gabe?
I think. All that being said, inflation, the market, everything, still a great time.
Oh,
Still the best time.
still-
You know what I mean? Get in. Get going, get started. There's just so much out there.
Yep.
And if you can find it, you can really take advantage of it.
Right.
And I think a lot of times, you go on social media so many times and you see people doing stuff and it's like, oh, it's easy. It's like it's hard work. It is hard work to find stuff, but once you figure it out, it's possible, man. It's not. It's a learnable skill.
Right. Well, and now's the best time to buy, whether you're retail or otherwise. Now's the best time to buy. People like to say this market's different, but this market just feels like 2017, 2018 to me. You went from a COVID market where an hour on the market was too long. You know what I mean? Where if you didn't have 5 offers, 30 showings, you know what I mean? The first hour it was on the market, you were like, what's going on? Did we misprice this thing? What happened? To a 90-day market, it feels bad, but it's just a 90-day market. It's just going to take 90 days to sell a house. It's going to take 90 days. It's going to take prospecting. You're going to have to reach out to other agents, find out if they have buyers. You're going to actually have to work the lead. You're not just going to be able to let MLS do the work for you. And that's what's got most people pushed back because, especially I think when Braxton came in, it was just insane. He probably thought, this is crazy. I don't know what you thought.
Seemed a whole lot easier.
It was a whole lot easier, but I've always made it hard. I don't, people, I'm like, no, we're gonna put them on Facebook Marketplace. We're gonna do the work. We're gonna call the other agents. We're gonna prospect. We're gonna do the things. It's gonna benefit you in the long run. It's like working out a muscle. You know what I mean? It's like you worked a chainsaw all day the other day. How'd you feel the next day?
A little sore.
You never worked a chainsaw. You know what I mean? But if you work that muscle every day, if you never set it down, you know what I mean? You're going to be stronger, and it ain't going to matter that you got to go do that the next day. You're built like that. So, same way with real estate agent. You have to be on the phone. You have to be prospecting. Even during good times, you have to build those habits. If you don't, when the market shifts like it has, you're going to feel some type of way. You're going to feel defeated. You're going to give up. Right now it doesn't feel any different. I know it's different, but it doesn't feel different because we just have to do what we have to do. We have to go do our bandit signs. We have to prospect. We have to do the things that we've always done. Have you ever not done bandit signs?
Mm-mm.
It's like
It's been part of it.
it's just been part of the process. We got something up for rent. We put a for rent sign out. We bandit sign the neighborhood. It's just what we do. We did it during good times when it was easy. People were like, why are we doing this? Well, because we want 10 applicants. We don't want one applicant. We want to look at 10. We're going to get a better tenant if we look at 10 applications. So we'll go produce those leads. We'll push into the marketplace. We're not going to rely on luck or what's available. So anyways, that's just kind of how it is.
No, it's true. I mean, and you've been in the real estate game since 2015 or before, and you just see the cycle, right? But the work stays consistent. If your work stays consistent, your work ethic and everything that you're doing, even with the cycles, you're still taking advantage of all that opportunity because you've already built that muscle,
Right.
And it's the same way. I think it's the same way in any business, even now in the construction side too. It's like people are like, why are you so busy? It's like, because our work ethic hasn't changed. We're still hustling. We're still looking for opportunity. And even if it does this, I mean, I have contractors calling my assistants, and asking, hey, do y'all have work? Do y'all have work? I'm like, why do you not have work? You know what I mean? Because you're not doing anything. You're just waiting to get fed. You know what I mean? Like you do. Like you push it. Like, you're out there. You're knocking on doors. You're talking to people. You're, making things happen.
Right.
And I think in the real estate game, or any game actually, like if you do that, it doesn't matter what the market's going to do because you're going to be prepared to do the work. I saw a statistic the other day about how many restaurants closed.
Oh,
and it's like, man, all these name restaurants, you know what I mean? Not
Red
like
Lobster.
Yeah, like they're closing. It's like what?
And they were blaming black people eating shrimp. It was they. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
Red Lobster blamed that?
Yeah. No, it was the internet. It was the internet. It wasn't Red Lobster. Red Lobster would never. They would never. But yeah.
But you see that, and it's like, well, what are you not doing to get your business back to where people are coming? Why are you not being innovative, or why are you not changing your mode, to get where you need to be?
Especially if there was a growth period, what changed, or did you not shift? Did you let off the gas? At what point did this stop happening?
Yeah.
Well, COVID messed them up a lot, but I think what really happened is, I mean, like, I invested in Texas Roadhouse. I own Texas Roadhouse stock. Done phenomenal. I got in at $93. Anybody else getting in at $93? Nobody. It's $160 today. You can look that up. Look at it on your Cash App. That's where I own my stock. Either way, I was like, Texas Roadhouse isn't open for lunch. They don't have a national ad campaign. And I get there at 11 every morning. When we go, it's 11. There's already people that beat me there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They're not advertising. They got a lot of bullets in their gun to fire. If they need more revenue, they can open up for lunch. You know what I mean? If they need more revenue, they can advertise. So they got a lot of bullets in their gun, and they're still, your experience at a Texas Roadhouse is the same whether you eat in Amarillo. I don't remember where I ate in California. It's like Modesto. I don't know. Started with M. It was out there. Same experience. Same prime rib. Same rolls, same butter. You know what I mean? You go to we went to IHOP last night. It was the most Waffle House IHOP I'd ever been to.
It's true.
And I was like, they're not long for the world. Our waiter was great. I mean, our food came out fast. But we couldn't even pay at the end.
We didn't get pancakes.
We did not get pancakes.
And the meal came with pancakes. But
y'all, you got shorted some pancakes.
Yeah, I didn't No, I didn't get pancakes. They didn't bring them, but that's another,
But that's why, you know what I mean? It's like that. Yeah. That's a simple SOP that's been violated. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Never go back to QC, right? Did everyone get what they ordered?
Yeah.
DJ waited for 15 minutes after us. I never got my side of bacon.
Oh, well, I didn't know all that. Mine came out phenomenal. They brought my bacon and sausage on 3 different plates. That was a little strange. Maybe I ate DJ's bacon. Maybe they brought it to me. I don't know, but
it is consistency. It's just an example of what's changed, right? And why they're probably not going to be around the way they used to be, right? Because like it was our third option, right, to go to IHOP. It wasn't like our first play.
Yeah,
let's go to IHOP. Like, no.
We just could walk there from Buffalo Wild Wings.
That's right.
We wanted to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. It was packed. Mavs were playing, and that's why. Normally it's not packed, and that's why we like going. But either way, I mean, yeah, those businesses are suffering. Chili's, Chili's is kind of on the rope, and it got so expensive to eat at Chili's. Like, it just got expensive. You just go to Chili's and order anything, and it's $40, and you're like, I can go to Roadhouse for $27
Yeah.
and have a steak. What am I going to pick? $40 ribs, $30 steak. It's, but either way, I mean, yeah, the restaurant industry is a little strange right now. But it'll give mom and pops opportunities to have a come up, Some of the fastest growing companies, I don't eat at because I'm 40, but you like Lane's? Not Lane's.
I ain't never been.
Raising Cane's?
Yeah.
You like it?
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal. It's so good.
Delicious.
So good. Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
Never miss.
But the thing I like about Chick-fil-A is the service. You know what I mean?
They
Like,
never
phenomenal
miss.
service. Like,
They
Kind
never
of same
miss.
thing what we're talking about. It's consistency.
And,
You know exactly what you're going to get.
and they even, like, I think we had that discussion yesterday about when we were eating, about how, the way you treat people, the way you, I guess there's a situation we were talking about, and it was like, words were being said, and it's like, it's about being service to that person. Like, how can I help you? How can I get that level of service? And you're not just like, oh, I'm just going to kind of take advantage of you and sell you something, I'm going to leave, and like, no, I'm going to stand for it, And I think you talked about the story about how somebody came to meet you the other day.
Yep.
And then, 3 days later, they had, the husband passed away. And
Yep.
you reached out to her and said, hey, you know what, I can help you with the management, whatever. But that's the level of service that Corey Thompson has, right? Like, hey, I'm invested in you. You came all the way to see me, and I didn't get to see. But the same thing with any service of any business, right? If you can give great service and just freaking knock it out, I mean, people will come back.
Yep.
And I think the same thing in the real estate scape as well. Is like, people will know eventually, like, yeah.
Well, we just closed on an 80-unit mobile home park. We haven't talked about it a lot on the internet. I didn't even call it a mobile home park. I called it a mobile home subdivision. It's houses and the land on quarter-acre lots. And we got that 80 unit because we'd done business with the guy before. And he recognized that. And we struggled. I mean, we raised $3 million, got $1 million with the bank debt we're doing now to close that deal out. We were trying to raise the full $4 million. And I mean, how many times we have to extend?
Like 3 times.
We were like, bro. And he was a bro. He just knew that, he knew we were kids, and you know what I mean? He understood what we were trying to do, and he, gave us every opportunity to get that deal done. And the reason why was because we'd done what we said we were going to do on the transaction we did with him before. And we worked our ass off to raise that $3 million. That's why Braxton's got to go pick up that $200,000 check today.
It's the very last one. That's why it's like something like that matters. We get to button that up, sign the paperwork. It's done. We're good.
And we can distribute to our investors the cash that we've collected and ran over the last 2 or 3 months, and they get a big slug of cash. So it's exciting for everyone, But yeah, this has been services overwhelming, and that's another thing. The money. I mean, in 2022, I was just looking at the interest rates and looking at the interest rate environment, and I was like, everything we got that we're trying to flip right now, put a tenant in it. Let's put a for rent sign out. We'll leave the for sale sign out. Whoever comes. And so we rented all that stuff out. And some of those deals aren't deals. Some of them aren't, at that time especially, they weren't going to sell. So we put tenants in it, kind of floated that $50,000 a month in debt service we had, put a tenant in, take that burden off of us, put it to the tenants, so they'll service that debt for us while we figure things out. But I was like, we're not going to be able to continue running our business structured as it is, because the debt will kill us. In the winter months, when things slow down, the debt will murder us. If we've got to pay $50,000 a month every month to the debt service, we will not be able to flip houses. So we took all of our private capital that would come along with us, and we developed a fund, TRIF. And our fund has consistently paid out $50,000 to $60,000 every month, so they're doing better than they would do. We've got a deal now that's going to pay. We're going to make over $1 million on one deal out of that fund, out of that $5 million that we raised, or $4 million that we raised on it. No, 4.5.
It's $4 million fund with our carried interest, $4.5 million.
No, it was a $5 million fund with 4.5. Our carried was 500,000. Either way, we've done a lot of these. Don't hold us to it, but anyways, we raised the money. Those people came along with us when we started the second fund. I mean, one of the guys that's in the first fund, he's like, "Here's 400 grand." You know, I think he did 100 in the first one. He's like, "Here's 400 grand," and it's because they know we do what we say we're going to do. We put them first. We do what the investors, you know, we do what's best for the investors every time. Dude, that deal we're closing on. I shouldn't even be talking. Don't release this till we close on that deal. Hold this podcast till we close on that deal. But I mean, it's an amazing deal, and I mean, again, it just came to be in the service of the people. It came through leadminingpros.com. Got that deal on the phone. Instantly knew, you know, it's their price, not my price. I didn't negotiate. I was just like, "What, y'all had it sold before? What'd you have it sold for?" They told me. I backed in the number. I was like, "So y'all will take this?" They said yes, and I said, "We'll buy it. We'll do that deal." Some people are not going to sell, so we're buying a partial interest, so we'll have to get it partitioned or sue to force a sell. All skills that we have, all people that we have in our network, but that deal will pay our investors. Our investors will get a fifth of their investment back in 1 month's time when that deal dominoes. Here you go. And we could have, you know, they always, the investors will always ask, they would be like, "We are still going to be doing deals." They're like, "Yeah, we'll do them, you know, sometimes, maybe." But they're like, "Well, y'all just keep the best deals for yourself." Absolutely not. We're thinking way bigger than that. We would rather pay all of y'all all of this money, and y'all go tell y'all's friends that have money, so we can start a $10 million fund and go do it, you know, more. So we can just do more, and we'll just make our little sliver to operate it and work and do what we enjoy to do. You know what I mean? And one day we'll be in the passive seat. You know what I mean? I'll be in the passive seat before Braxton's in the passive seat, and I'll just be putting my money into Braxton's deals. And I'll be sitting on my pontoon boat with my kids. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he'll be out there doing everything that I was doing. You know what I mean? It's just a cycle, and it's just building people up and, you know, keeping it going. And then Braxton will recognize some talent that's, you know, down in the ranks, and he'll pull them up, and, you know, then he'll be passive in their deals. And that's just kind of how it works. And, you know, that's the cycle of life. But, you know, without the integrity and doing the service and doing what we said we were going to do, you know, we wouldn't have those opportunities. We wouldn't be able to go raise. How much money do you think we could raise?
It's hard to say,
I mean,
especially after you keep meeting people like last night. It's like,
yeah.
I think when it's truly an infinite amount, if we keep, you know, don't have to be phenomenal, just got to be consistently good. And like what he said, doing what we say we're going to do consistently.
And I mean, that's all we're going to do. I mean, you know, there's some deals that we bought with the first fund that aren't going as well as we are. We're just going to buy them back at basis, you know, and we're going to take that loss on our own shoulders. We're not going to pass that to the investors, because it's not, you know, they didn't get into that deal. Poteet comes to mind, but, you know, at the time, it seemed like it was going to work out, you know, it hasn't. But you remodeled Poteet.
Yeah, we did.
It did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
It's just
No.
Location
bad
is just
location.
kinda-
Dude, I mean, you had to go through one house to get to
Yeah,
all the tire shop and all that stuff. But
They
you know,
sold the house in the front though.
did they?
They sold it, and anyways, I mean, we'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get owner finance. We'll get something done on it.
I just want to ask a question, because you touched base and you on as far as building people up, Corey. I mean, you and Braxton have been working together for a bit, and you talked about how one day he'll be in the passive seat, you'll be in the passive seat. But like a lot of people, you see, like, man, I'm not going to show this guy everything, or I'm not going to help this person. Like, I don't know, when did you start, Braxton? When you were
First time was into 2020, like October or something.
Yeah, and you put so much time into Braxton and helped him. Like, what? I mean, what's your philosophy about building up people, especially in this space?
I don't know. I don't know. Braxton, what am I like? I'm like a grumpy old man. What am I?
I don't know. It's Spoon and I were trying to put a word to it when we were talking to my dad the other day. It's like I've always said you ask the right questions, and that alone is such a valuable skill set, because it's like it's almost just making sure every box is checked, but also having the foresight to know what boxes even need to be there in the first place.
look, when it comes to building people up, I don't know. I'm not good at it, right? I'm not, look,
Not
I'm just I worked around men, and those men were hard on me. They didn't pull no punches. You're fucking up. They told you. I worked in the oil field. I mean, you'd have to fist fight your boss every once in a while. You wouldn't get fired. That's just, I mean, you throw a wrench at each other, square up, figure it out, go back to work. You know what I mean? And it just, when I got into real estate, and Brandon had the same learning curve, everything goes so much slower. You can't come out there to your job site with the oil field mentality and just start cussing people out. You're not going to get anything out of them. They'll just all walk off. They'll go find something else. So with Braxton, at that point in time, we were trying to hire. Hadn't made a successful hire yet. Braxton comes in. He's 17. DJ came in when he was 16, I think. And DJ, I was just hard on DJ. I just worked next to him and fucking talk shit to him. Just like we're in the oil field. Just, you fucking pussy. Quit your whining, quit your crying. Pack some fucking clean clothes. We're not coming back. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. And when Braxton came in, we kind of moved to a point where I needed to be in the office a little bit more. And there was all these things that we were doing in marketing, and I ran all the marketing, and Spoon did the follow-up, and we were just kind of in this weird place. And so there was things about the software and stuff that I hadn't taken the time to figure out. It's not that I'm not capable. I just don't care. It's like, so I'm like, here's busy work. Just go through all these voicemails, do this. And I'm thinking, well, this is 3 days. You know what I mean? Like, this will take 3 days. I won't have to worry about this kid for another 3 days. He'll be busy. And he comes back like 3 hours later. He's like, what you got now? And I'm like, you didn't do that. You didn't go through all them fucking voicemails. And he's like, no, I got it done. I'm like, okay, here, build out Teams. We don't know what the fuck Teams is. Build this out. We want our job numbers. We want this. Build this out. So, 6 hours later, he's like, all right, I'm done with that. I'm like, there's no fucking way. You know what I mean? Like, There's no fucking way. But then I was like, well, okay, so he's got a skill set I don't have, right? I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that in that short amount of time. He's got a skill set I don't have. So let's see if he wants to just come to work for us. And I told him at the time, I was like, you're going to make $10 an hour. That's all you'll ever make. If you want more money, you'll have to earn a commission. So you'll make $10 an hour plus commission. And we kind of put that together. And then the marketing that I was running, I started teaching him that. But I never thought about if Braxton left, because if Braxton left, right? I'm back to where I was. I don't think about it like that. I'm like, you always got to be training somebody. We always train every day anyways. You know what I mean? We're always role playing. We're always talking shit. We're always doing that anyways. So I never thought about it like that. I was like, if Braxton leaves, Braxton leaves. If somebody gives him a better opportunity, I want him to take it, and I want him to go do the best with it. It's not, it's not that I'll find another Braxton. Braxton's very unique and good at what he does. But I'll find 3 people that can be a Braxton, because now I know exactly where the pain points are, because Braxton helped me learn that, because we communicate well. So I just gave it to him and never thought about that. And then some of his goals kind of inspired me. Not kind of, they did inspire me, because we wouldn't have started funds. And, what is it, a 504 reg? I don't know any of that. But that's what Braxton was studying, and that's what he wanted to do. So it's like, well, we can, I can go look at real estate. I can evaluate real estate. I can plan a job site. I can keep my ducks herded, and you know what I mean? I can get equipment in front of people. I can get out there, manage the job site. I can get in there and get it done. And these guys, all of them, Brenton included, even our cameraman, will get in there and help us clean out a house or do whatever we need to do. It's whatever we needed at that moment in time. But we can also fundraise. We can send Braxton. He's going to a room that's worth $5 trillion. I'm not going in that room. I'll be really late in the process of that meeting. If he gets all those people ready to learn more, we will show up. I'll put on some jeans probably for that one, but show up and we'll explain the real estate side to him. And Braxton understands that, but it's not, it's kind of, we kind of bring the grit to it. So, I mean, when it comes to that, it's just, hey, you're good at this. I'm good at this other thing. We can work well together. And then we just start adding pieces to that puzzle. He brings in Brenton. We got Brenton doing leasing. Brenton actually loved doing leasing. Didn't quit like everyone else. So we made him, I mean, we figured out leasing. We built this SOP essentially, and then we pass it down to the people that we've hired. We've hired 3 girls now. They're phenomenal. They're doing leasing right now. We're not there, and Britton manages them, and we meet with them, and we figure out where it needs to be. But really and truly, I don't worry about them. I don't worry about them leaving, because if they get a better opportunity, that's all I ever wanted for them. I don't never worry about an agent leaving. We have phenomenal agents, but if they get a better opportunity, they need to take the better opportunity. Every agent we have will be able to make more money selling $300,000 houses than they will selling $150,000 houses for us with the skill set we helped them build, but we will just get somebody else in the mix and start over. You know what I mean? And that's really it. I mean, it took us a long time to figure this out. When you try to do it all by yourself, it's very, very difficult. If you don't have a team, it's very, very difficult. If you're counting, tripping over dollars to pick up dimes, it's very difficult. I see cheap people all the time, that want to list for 1% or want to do this or want to do that. I'm like, it ain't a deal if you need that other 2%. Like,
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
You should have bought it better. You shouldn't punish the agent for the amount of work they have to do because you bought the wrong deal. I mean, even on the deals we lose money on, or on deals that we own or finance where we have to bring money to the closing because the buyer understands the down payment, but they don't understand the closing costs, so that we get to closing and they don't have the money for the closing costs. So we have to pay the closing costs. We still pay the agents a full 6%, unless it's their mistake. Big Mike's made some of those mistakes where we've explained to him multiple times. It's cash to close. It's not a down payment. Down payment is this. Cash to close includes this. And if he doesn't get it explained to him or get it into the contract or whatever it is, then Big Mike will have to take some of that out of his commission. I mean, we're fair about it, but, I think out of all of us that we work together, I would say me and Big Mike are probably the most different. He's morally superior. I tell him to cheat on his girlfriend all the time. It makes him mad, so then I tell him to do it again. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of how we work, And it frustrates Big Mike, I think, sometimes. But, I thought Big Mike would quit a long time ago. He hasn't. He's been there for all of our charity work. He's far exceeded my expectations. He's done everything we've asked him to do. When his personal life is affecting him, you can kind of tell, and I don't know that because I'm not, I'm friends with these guys, but they ain't like, they ain't calling me, telling me their girl problems. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know that, have my own set of problems. So I'm, we're men. We don't really discuss that much, but I'll be, Braxton, why do you think this motherfucker's fucking off? He's like, well, he's got this going on. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, it's tough love. I don't know. I don't know if I did a good job of explaining it or not.
No,
It's
I
just,
think you did a great job, man. I think it's just, investing in people is probably one of the best things to do. Like you said, you can't do it by yourself. There's no way. Like, you'll burn out, and but putting time into people and helping them, because I feel the same way. I mean, I have a great, some of my guys are like excellent crew guys, and like, man, but if they ever found something and they were to like, hey, I need to go and take that opportunity, I'm like, go for it, man. I'll never hold anybody back and say, no, you're going to stay with me forever. It's like, no, my goal is the same way. Build them up, have a great living. Like, I want everybody to be successful.
yeah. And other things that I'm learning a lot through Spoon too, because, we're out there managing these jobs, and I worked in the oil field. So, we move a rig or something, you got to break this down first, then you break this down, then you break that down, then you get this, and then you move that, and then you got to set this up. You got to string out the location. You got to set this piece first. Like, I mean, it's like putting together a puzzle, right? But it's the same. It's repetition.
Process.
Happens over and over again. So you understand it. You know what I mean? And when we're doing septic jobs, my uncle's a licensed septic installer, so I'm, somewhat familiar. But I'm also like, I know that if we install a septic tank here and they got to put in a power pole there and we already got the home set in, you can't drive over the septic tank and they can't get the power pole in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's, so I'll see that where sometimes Spoon will kind of get the cart before the horse or something. But I also, I'm like, I'm pushing on Spoon to get it done. And then, I'm critical of him because I'm like, well, you got to, but I mean, it's just, sometimes you get too, I get too excited or too like, we need to get this done, and then it's to my detriment because I get there and I'm like, oh no. You know what I mean? Like, what are we gonna do now? But we learned that. But then you got that SOP. Now you know where's the power pole? Where's the power gonna come from? You know what I mean? How are we gonna get the equipment in there? Is there enough room? Is the lot next to it got a house on it? Or can you drive on it? That type of stuff.
Yeah.
So we build that out over time, and we make mistakes at the beginning, and it costs us money. But you just don't want to make them again. You want to get better. You don't want to make the same mistake twice. So, I mean, it's time and reps as well. And DJ, I really, I don't think he watched the podcast. I don't think he'll ever see this, so it don't matter. But I mean, like, I'm proud of what DJ has become because, you have to put a foot in DJ's ass. And once you understand that, you just put the foot in DJ's ass. After that, it's fine. You know what I mean? But when you expect him to do something that you told him yesterday and you don't call him in the morning to remind him, you know what I mean, to put that foot in his ass, he might sleep till noon and not start the job till 3. But if you tell DJ to be there at daylight, he'll be there an hour after daylight. You know what I mean? So it's understanding that, understanding, who you're working with and what the expectation is. One of my best friends, he worked in the oil field. He was on the pier this weekend, and he's talking about being a business owner. And I said, whoa, hold on. He's talking about time off at being a business owner. I said, nah, that's wrong, buddy. If you're a business owner, you have time off. If you're self-employed, you don't have time off. See, you should be able to run your jobs from a cell phone. You should be able to set expectations and do it. And it might not get done as fast as if you're there, no doubt. But you shouldn't have to be there every minute of every day if you're truly a business owner. I'm in the office enough, but when I'm in the office, there's less getting done. Sometimes there's more because I'm running around talking shit and everybody's, get the energy up. But sometimes I'm like, let's go to Topgolf. Like, why are we here? Let's go to Topgolf. And then everybody leaves and we go to Topgolf, So it's managing people and understanding their strengths and weaknesses and, kind of how to motivate them. We can get DJ mad enough to lift anything we need to lift. We can tell Brandon he can't do something and he'll just kill himself trying, So, just know how to get them going.
Motivate people.
You can get Braxton to beat anybody up if you can get them to compliment his sister in any way.
Talk about my sister.
I was like, the first time that happened, Spoonie was joking about his sister because we joke about Spoonie's sister all the time, and he was joking about Braxton's sister, and I could see. I was like, oh, this is going south. I was like, Spoonie's about to get beat up. I was like, he don't like Braxton don't play. I was like, all right, but I've never made that mistake because
He's seen it.
Well, I have so much respect for Braxton's family because of the man that Braxton is. I can't compliment Pam and Brian enough on the person that they raised. It's like, I don't know what Emery will become. I don't know what Jasper will become or anything like that. But if you were like, man, I really want my son to be like somebody, it would be Braxton. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, Jasper probably will be a little bit like Braxton, but he's still my son. The other day
He'll
we were
be
coming.
good.
He'll be great. He loves the fellas. The other day we were coming to the office and he's like, I'm going to punch Braxton. I was like, all right. Then he wouldn't do it. I was so sad. I was like, he doesn't talk the shit. He's like, I'm going to punch him. I was like, all right. Like, go give it to him. Let him have it.
It's crazy, man.
So anyways, but yeah, it's fun. But I can't, Emery, we were listening to Grant Cardone and his daughter's podcast. Me and Emery were when we were driving. And I was just like, I could just see her wheels turning, and I'm like, I don't know what aspirations she'll have. She'll probably be a liberal and want to save dolphins, and I'll be okay with that. It's like whatever. But I know the impact that they have on my kids because Stinky Brenton, they're around them all the time. You know what I mean? Everyone jokes that they're my older kids, and that's funny, but it's like, I don't know. I just hope my kids grow up and aspire to be like these fellows, you know, because they get somebody closer to their age to see, you know, nobody looks at their parents and are like, yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? That's what I want to do.
No, for sure, man. No,
But they'll look at a Braxton and, you know, and say, oh yeah, you know, that's good. I like that. I think I could be a Braxton. So,
dude, that's awesome, man. I mean, it takes a village, right, to raise kids, and I mean, having good people around and having, you know, role models and stuff like that. It works. That's cool, man.
I do want to say, I think this is probably something you can relate to. I think like so much more of this though translates into like capital raising or building a team or anything. Like there's a certain level of authenticity that it's just like we're not just looking at numbers on a screen. It is going out there and doing the work. It is going and cutting down trees when a tornado hits. It is going and digging the septics. It is go figuring out all these problems, actually out there doing it. Like if you're bidding a job and you're trying to get someone, you know, your point across, all the sales ability in the world will probably get it done, but there's a certain level of trust and feel about that when it's like, no, I have done it. This is what I do. I'm proud of my work. And same for us when it's like, hey, we want you to trust us with your 401k, your nest egg, your life savings. We're going to go put it in this because we believe in this. It's like, it's from top down. It's not just, oh, we're super smart, we do this all the time, it's good. It's like, no, we do every single part of this.
right.
I think that translates from fundraising to sales as far as getting jobs, buying houses, selling houses, but then also building a team because it's much less of just a job. It's something you can buy into. It's like, I believe in this because of the overall message and mission.
Yeah, because I mean I just bought this boat and we'd gone out on it the first time, and I mean it was going to storm, so we're, you know, all right. I've been on the lake before when it's storming. It ain't that bad. Be all right. I don't think they knew that, but I was like, yeah, we'll make it. We'll be fine. And then that night, he's texting me. You know, a tornado hit Temple, and we have a nonprofit, the R2R Foundation. We need to get a website for it so people can donate to it. But he's texting. He's like, hey, I think we should go clean up the tornado after the tornado in Temple tomorrow. And I said, well, I've already got the skid steer on the trailer, so I'll latch onto it. Who's going to get the dump trailer? And so Big Mike came and got the dump trailer. I hooked on the equipment, and we were there that next morning at ground zero. I mean, the worst part. And the very first family we walked up to, I mean, she's like in tears. She's like, we just canceled our insurance. We didn't know what we were going to do. And I'm like, oh, well, you don't have a lot of damage to your house, so you're fine. We'll clean this mess up. And they're like, we don't know what we're going to do for a fence. So I'm going to go back down there and check on them, see if they need a fence, get Brandon to go down there and throw them a little privacy fence up. And you know, I mean, that's what we can do for the community because of the community we built online and otherwise because people support us. And, you know, of course, we're down there doing it, and we went for a day. But anytime you're doing that, you just, like, I know we did 2 days, but, I mean, I just feel like I can't wait until we can be down there for a week. You know, I can't wait until we have the resources to really make a big impact, you know, because right now we're self-funding the foundation, but we're also, you know, when we're doing that work, we're not doing our work. So I mean, it's hard to set aside a week and miss out on your core activities, but we'll get there. And one day we'll have the employees, we'll have the team, we'll have the equipment and everything. I mean, we'll get there. And I think the charity work, I mean, bar none, rolling into the Panhandle after the fires and delivering water. I mean, you just you know you're having an impact. You come across Scullytown. You know, you show up in a Scullytown with water, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you know, we prayed for this." And you're like, "All right, well, we're here. We brought water. You know, I wish we could do more, but we got water."
There's 2,000 bottles of water,
right? You know, for their volunteer fire department. You know, taking hay. Got linked up with a guy that had hay in western Oklahoma. So I was up there for like 2 or 3 days hauling hay from western Oklahoma to the Panhandle on my truck and trailer. You know, just taking it to the donation centers. And, you know, you just know you're having an impact, you know. And it's crazy because at that time, and he's like, yeah, the key's in the skid steer. You know how to run one? And I mean, this is through Facebook Messenger. I never even talked to this guy on the phone. And so they just left a skid steer and hay, and I'm out there loading it. I'd never hauled hay before. I mean, I tied it down. I'd seen it done, So I tied it down. I had that thing loaded. I was hauling hay through the panhandle, There I am. But, doing that, those impacts feel better than probably anything else we do. I mean,
Well, and that's exactly like what you get going on Saturday night too.
Yeah.
You know exactly what
plug
that's
it.
like.
Plug it.
So back in 2023, a very good friend of mine passed away of blood cancer, and her name was Priscilla Banda, and she is a badass. She's like, I talked to her. We would, my wife and I were friends with her, and she was my daughter's coach, and she was just a badass. And I had told her, like, when you get better, you come work with me, because I need somebody like that to. You need that vibe. And she had that vibe. I always tell people, if I could bottle up her vibe and sell it, it'd be like you'd be a billionaire. And she's like, okay, Gabe, that's a bet. And so a couple of weeks before she passed away, she's like, how do I live, Gabe? I've done everything. But just like me and you are talking, she's fine. So you're talking to somebody who knows that they're gonna pass away, And she says, how do I live? Like, I don't know, you just keep on fighting, And so a few months passed, and in December, the Lymphoma and Leukemia Society asked me if I would be interested in raising money in her honor. And if we raised $50,000, then we could name a research portfolio after her. And that would be so awesome, because, you want people to live forever. And I always thought Priscilla was going to be that one that this kid's going to make it. Like, everybody else, okay, I understand. But this one, she's going to make it. And she passed. And so, I had said, like, well, okay, let me do it. And so for the past, 8 weeks, we've been trying to make this goal. And this Saturday, we're having a casino night.
What Saturday? What's the date?
Saturday, June 1st.
Okay, Saturday, June 1st. Okay.
Saturday, June 1st at Cigar International on I-10 in San Antonio, Texas. So it's it's on Landmark Drive. And so we'll have 10 casino tables. We'll have prizes, food, drinks, cigars, and there is a buy-in, and but all the money goes to raise money for the Lymphoma Leukemia Society. I want her name to live on forever.
Right.
Forever. Like, there needs to be, good people need to be known, right? Good people need to be memorialized and made sure that, not everybody is bad, and there's good people out there that passed away for no reason, and so if we can help keep Priscilla's name alive, that would be my, I'm good.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Guys, cut that out and make it a short. Get it up ASAP. Get that
I appreciate it, man, because
and we'll share it on Facebook. We'll put it on Facebook. Put it everywhere.
I appreciate it, man.
Get the people out.
I really do, man. It's just, if you would have known her, she'd be in here hyping everybody up. You know what I mean? Like, come on, because she was a basketball player, and I'll tell you a funny story about her only because it's cool. So she's sick, right? This is 2020. She's sick, and so she's already been through chemo, but her son's going to prom. He didn't have no money to buy tickets, so to the prom, right?
There's tickets to prom?
Yeah, you have to pay for, you pay for yourself and your date, whatever. Anyway, so she tells his friend, she's like, hey, if I beat you in a game of 21, then you need to give me the tickets for Charlie can go to prom. She beats him, man. She's a baller. She beats him in game of 21, and I'm sure the guy was like, dude, this lady, everybody has a story of Priscilla. She's the only person that I know scored 76 points in a basketball game. You know what I mean? She's a badass, dude. And I loved her so much. My family loved her so much. She's just I wish she was still here. You know what I mean? I had never lost somebody that close to me, but I mean, if y'all would have met her, y'all would be like, man, she needs to stay around. She needs to be alive. You know what I mean?
How many kids you have?
She has two. They're older kids. They're 21 and like 24 or something like that, around there. But just a badass, man. Just a and it's funny how I met her, because I was wholesaling at the time, and I found this house that had been vacant for years, and it so happened that it was her grandfather's house.
Really?
Yeah, and she was friends with my sister-in-law at the time, and I was like, hey, do you know Priscilla Bond? She's like, yeah. She's like, I was like, can I talk to her, because I think she owns this house. Anyway, she ends up selling the house to us, end up wholesaling it, but she's like, Gabe, thank you so much, my grandfather's house, and but it's just, it's crazy how your life meets people along the way, and you're like, you get connected, right?
Right.
And it just, but she was so impactful in my life. I mean, she told my daughters, like, Raquel, don't give up. Like, do whatever you want. Like, make sure that you. I was telling you a story about how my daughter got accepted in an NYU.
Right.
And Priscilla had told her, she's like, don't give up on that dream. You know what I mean? Don't stop until you get your dream. And that was just days before she passed away. But I was like, it's so, it gets you. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
Well, your daughter, I mean,
She
I don't
didn't give up.
I mean, she didn't give up. She went. She did it. She held out for it to the very end. She'd be at Rochester if she said yes. What is it?
Yeah. So she has she's accepted the offer at Rochester, but she just got the NYU acceptance yesterday, and so I think she's gonna change it over.
It's gonna break a heart.
Yeah, but
So, and she's a college volleyball player.
she's a college volleyball player.
So-
Yeah. So yeah, and so she entered the transfer portal and.
Did Priscilla play college basketball?
No, Priscilla wasn't. She was, Priscilla came from a broken home. She was raised by her grandfather,
Okay.
and and so she came from the south side of San Antonio. The same area that I do a lot of my work in, and but she's a baller, like a athlete of athletes. You know what I mean? Like everybody.
I mean,
would
she
say-
beat
Some
kids
high
with
schoolers
cancer.
and-
I mean,
Yeah.
she had cancer and beat high school kids.
Yeah, that's her, man. She's just awesome. And another story is she told me, she's like, so there's a rec center on Quintana and South Cross in San Antonio, and that's where she would go and play ball all the time. And one year, they had reached out to her and said, hey, you want to go to Chicago and do a free throw contest? And she's like, yeah. She's like, if you win the free throw contest, then you get to meet Michael Jordan, which was her, like,
Yeah.
everybody's favorite person,
Yeah.
right? So she goes, right? She goes to Chicago. She had never been swimming before, so in the hotel, she goes swimming the night before. Swims all day, all night, and everything. Gets up in the morning, can't throw a free throw.
She swam herself out.
She swam herself out. She's like, Gabe. I'm like, but it's just she hadn't been. She didn't come from much, but she had a heart of gold, man, and that's and like I said, if you could just capture that gold, just capture it, just like distribute it amongst bad people to make them good, then it'd be badass.
The world will be a better place.
The world would be a badass place.
So, what else you want to leave us with, Gabe?
Man, I would just honestly, I want to thank you for always helping me and believing in me and letting me help you, and I really appreciate your mentorship, and sometimes I call you and like, hey man, I need this, or what do you think about this, and you give me your opinion, and I just really appreciate it, both of y'all, man. I can always,
We appreciate your support. You came out to our retreat. You've always been there. So
Yeah.
I'm just glad we got work for you. I'm just glad we're in the mix.
no, for real, man. Whatever we can do to help, just let us know.
Dude, I love it. So, Gabe, how do people find you?
We're on abdoconstruction.com, abdoconstruction.com. Call us at 830-699-5981.
And we didn't put Braxton on the spot and make him wife that lady up.
We'll get it done.
Gabe's trying to set him up. I mean,
We need to edit that shit.
Just gonna be mad, like Gabe.
Never mind. Maybe that didn't happen. I don't know. Maybe I misheard. I got bad hearing. But appreciate it, guys. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Like, subscribe. Go follow Abdo Construction on Facebook. Great guy, great human being. Does phenomenal work. Can get you a bid together super quick. First time we popped Zens together, he had to drive 45 miles to the next job site. Got us a bid together super quick, and then, we settled on how much work we were going to do, sent him the money, and he's already almost done. So
Yeah, we'll finish this Friday.
trustworthy guy. I mean, I have no problem sending this guy $20,000-$30,000 at a time, letting him go to work. So you need that in this industry.
Gabe,
for
do you
sure.
have a link or anything, even if someone can't make the Saturday night, where they can donate?
Yeah, definitely. I'll have it's my LLS page, the Lymphoma Leukemia Society. Any donations, of course, you can write them off. For your taxes and everything. But I do have a link, and I can definitely
Okay.
send that to
We
you.
can get that. They can get on it.
We'll put it at the bottom of this video, in the description. So get that last part. I'll chop that last part out. Long form video, short form, and make sure y'all link the short form back to the long form, and that way they can go donate.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we have one more week left. The campaign ends June 7th.
So how much have y'all raised so far?
10.
Okay. So need a big push.
Yeah, I mean, it's you talk about how you have to focus on your business and on your nonprofit, right? And it's hard, and this is a lot of people have done it and they've done really well at it. It's just if I focus on my nonprofit, it's hard to focus on my business, right? Because you have to have both.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is a good push, and I just, at the end of the day, we'll do the best we can with what we have. But I plan on, continuing it, because people need to know about Priscilla and need to know that there's good people out there, and this blood cancer thing, it's really bad. I mean, she really struggled, and it wasn't fun. I don't wish it on anybody.
Okay. We need to donate. We got a nonprofit. We can donate.
So we can't do. We need a party bus from the lake house. Just go down to San Antonio.
Take the birthday party to the casino.
I bet you if Corey shows up, 10 million people show up too.
No, we ain't that popular. People don't follow us around like that. I wish, but no.
We probably get
But-
like 30 people.
Yeah, we probably have 30.
Do that.
Yeah, but
I appreciate it.
Y'all go
Anything we
out-
can do to help.
y'all go out and support it. Appreciate y'all being here.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Gabe.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this video, please, for the love of God, let us know in the comment section. Also, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell so you know every time a new one drops.